In this video, we'll be going through a full guide on ChatGPT for beginners. We'll cover how to set up an account, the different features it has to offer, how you can use it for different purposes, the basic functions of ChatGPT, and we will even go through some different features that you might not know about yet, even if you have been using it before. So let's dive in. First of all, we need to go to chatgpt.com, but if you do not have an account, just click sign up here. Then you will get to this page right here. Then you can either sign in with Google, Microsoft, Apple, or you can just input your email address and then go through the process. So I will just log in to my existing account. And when you are logged in, you will get to this interface right here. Now, first and foremost, this video will be going from the very basics down to the little bit more advanced, although we will have a separate ChatGPT advanced guide. But first of all, the interface, this is what you get to. Let's start on the left side right here. Now, when you see all of these different tabs go down here, it's because I have a lot of chats going already. So if you just started a fresh account, you will not be seeing this. However, this is how it will look when you start writing different chats with your ChatGPT account. And what we can say about these chats is that you can always go back to different chats. And what you need to know there is that all of the conversation that you have had with ChatGPT, it will be stored in that specific chat. So the GPT can actually remember the exact chat that you have had with it. So that means, for example, I have this chat right here where we do the weekly newsletter for Insidr. So this is one of the ways that we find news. We do actually also do it manually, go to Google and search for different news. We make notes during the week where we find different highlights of different news, but this is a great way to go back to a specific chat where it remembers what kind of results that you want from the specific chat or the specific prompts that you give it. So I won't go too much into details on that, but just making sure that you know all of the chats will be stored at the left side, and you can delete them, you can archive them, you can do whatever you want to them, you can store them depending on your needs and how you want to keep this structure. So if you start from the top here, if you click ChatGPT right here, you will start a new chat. I will do that in a second to show you some examples. Under that, you have the Explore GPTs, which is basically mini versions of GPTs that are trained on obviously the same technology as ChatGPT, but they also have a specific purpose. So you can see them kind of like large language models that they have been trained on the foundation of the ChatGPT, which is a huge amount of data. But then you can also give them very specific tasks or structure to be a specific persona or perform specific tasks based on your needs. So we'll go more into that in the advanced video, but you should see GPTs as being versions of ChatGPT that have a very specific purpose. So if you scroll through the different GPTs here, you can see the different categories. So you have, for example, writing, you have productivity, research and analysis, and so on. So you can scroll down and you can see the trending one. You can see some of the top GPTs from ChatGPT itself for writing, productivity, and so on. So some of this you might know already. Some of them might be just new to you. But let's say you wanted to be better at writing. You could go here, find a GPT that is specifically good at writing. Let's take a look at this one, for example, Write for Me. Write tailored, engaging content with a focus on quality, relevance, and precise word count. So what you could do is basically click that one. You could read a little bit more about it. If that sounds like the one that you would need, then you can just click Start Chat and then start writing and chatting with this specific GPT. And for example, write a 3,000 word blog about a future of SEO if ChatGPT, blah, 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 like it says here. So you can basically use this for specific tasks and purposes. And you can also create your own GPT, but that will be for the next video as well. So on the right hand here, You can click My GPTs, and here you can store different GPTs. Let's say you find 5 or 10 of some very good GPTs that you will use on a regular basis. Then you can store them here and go back to them anytime. Up here in the icon, you have again My GPTs. You have a way to customize ChatGPT, which I will cover a little bit later. You have different settings, and it's important to say that you can actually download ChatGPT to Mac or as a mobile app. So you can always bring ChatGPT on the go wherever you are. So you could either open it as a browser or a computer app or a mobile app, depending on your needs. So if you're logged in on the same user, then you can streamline your work and basically access it from anywhere. So up here to the left, we have the different models of ChatGPT. So it's not just one ChatGPT model, but it's actually multiple ones you can choose from. And they are all good at its own kind of purpose, although they can do many of the same things. But like you can see here, to keep it basic, the GPT-4o, great for most tasks. Next one uses advanced reasoning, the O1 Mini, faster at reasoning, and it's a couple more. GPT-4o Mini, faster for everyday tasks, and then GPT-4, a legacy model. So I do recommend getting the paid version of ChatGPT. It's $20 a month, and you can use more advanced models and do more advanced work if you have the paid model. But if you do not want to spend the budget on that right now, then of course you can still use ChatGPT for many purposes, and you can still be very productive and get great outputs using the more basic versions of ChatGPT. So it's not a problem doing the free plan at all, but you can do some more things more advanced, a little bit better with a paid version. But that's up to you. So let's take a look at how to actually use ChatGPT for basic purposes. So let's start a new chat with it. So when starting a new chat, obviously you can pretty much use it for anything. So let's do some basic examples here. So one of the functions of ChatGPT is that you can ask it basic questions, just like Google, but it will give you the answer directly instead of you having to browse through different ones. How many countries are there in Europe? Okay, so there we have the answer straight away. And it even gives you some more context about the larger countries, smaller countries, and so on. Okay, so that's an example. And we can also use ChatGPT for suggestions. Let's say I would like to learn something new about personal development. We can ask it to recommend me 5 books on personal development. And then it will give you 5 books on personal development, obviously. It has Atomic Habits, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Mindset, The Power of Now, and Grit. Now, if you like those, you can just go buy those, or you could even build on this and say, give me 5 more, or be even more specific as of not just personal development, but you could ask it, give me 5 book recommendations on business mindset. So it's basically the same, but it's even more niche, so we get more direct results on what you're looking for. And then it actually gives you what you're looking for. And there you have it. Okay, so you can also use it for a lot of different things. You can use it to translate or understand different languages. Let's say you would like this answer in French, then give me the answer in French. Then it will start writing the answer in French. And then you have the same answer, but in French, obviously. Great. You can also use it to compare different things. Let's say you want to compare Nike and Adidas. So you could say, give me 5 differences between Nike and Adidas. And then it comes back with, here are 5 key differences between Nike and Adidas. Number 1, brand identity and focus. Nike focuses heavily on performance, in innovation, and the idea of winning in sports. And their slogan is just do it, blah, blah, blah. Adidas, on the other hand, balances performance with lifestyle, while it also supports high level athletes. And They basically have five different things to compare them on: product design philosophy, athlete and celebrity endorsements, blah, blah, blah. And another function of ChatGPT is that it's great at summarizing pretty much anything. So I think this answer was a little bit long, so I could ask it to summarize this answer in 100 words. You could leave out the 100 words, but as you will learn, the more specific you are, the better the responses you will get, or the more specific to your wants or what you are actually looking for. Because if you just tell it to summarize this text, then you have no idea how long or short the text answer will be. So if you need it to be a specific length or looking for something specific, then just make sure to include that in your prompt. So I'll ask you to summarize this answer in 100 words for me. Nike and Adidas differ in several key areas. Nike focuses on performance, innovation, and athletic achievement with bold designs and high profile athlete endorsement like Michael Jordan, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you didn't like this answer, you could ask it to give me an answer in another way. So let's say it wasn't this example, but you got a summary of something else and you didn't like the answer. You could ask it to summarize it in a different tone. For example, summarize it in a human conversational way or whatever. You can basically summarize it however you want, and you can always go back to changing the answer as well. Now, let's say I would like the tone to be more human conversational. Then I could say summarize this answer in 100 words in a human conversational tone. Then it sends the prompt, and then you can see it writes a new answer in that tone right here. So if you didn't like the answer, you don't necessarily have to write a new chat under it. You could actually go back and change the prompt that you already gave. For the next example, we can use ChatGPT for. We could use it to brainstorm. So let's say you are new to entrepreneurship, but you really want to start your own business and pursue your another direction in your career. I want to brainstorm different business models. I am a 30-year-old male looking to start my own business. Give me 10 business models that I could start. And then of course gives you 10 different business models that you could start. So it basically brainstorms different ways of starting a business. So let's say, okay, we have e-commerce store, subscription box service, consulting business, digital product, affiliate marketing, rental business. Okay, so let's say I like number one, number three, and number six. Then we can ask it to give me the pros and cons of starting those businesses. And then it will give you a list of the pros and cons of starting these three businesses. So e-commerce store, low barrier to entry, scalability, global reach, blah, blah, blah. Cons, competition, logistics, upfront cost, although you could do drop shipping, obviously. The second one, consulting, low startup cost, flexibility, cons, scalability, client acquisition. Then we have affiliate marketing, low startup costs, blah, blah, blah. And it basically gives you the pros and cons of starting these businesses. Now, to build on this one, we can also do or make ChatGPT into our business mentor. So let's say you would like to go with the first option here, e-commerce store. I want to start an e-commerce store. Advise me on the steps to get started with my own e-commerce brand. So then you basically turn your ChatGPT into your business mentor for starting an e-commerce brand, and it will now give you a step-by-step plan on how to actually get started. And of course, you can do this way more specific, way more advanced, but these are the basics to get started with this business, and it will advise you how to get started. Now there are a ton more things you can actually use ChatGPT for, which we will cover in later in this video and also in the advanced video. But you can, for example, role play with it. You can ask it for study reviews. You could ask it to explain different concepts. You can ask it for creative writing. So let's say, for example, you could make it write a 500 word article on these steps. So now it will basically write an article of about 500 words of the steps that it provided. So what you need to know for now for these chats is that you can basically ask it to perform any task, perform any role. So it could be any persona that you wanted, like your business mentor, your fitness coach, your chef. Make it create recipes for you or productivity routines, build social media calendars, anything you can think of. You can ask ChatGPT to help you with. So we'll cover that later. So now we'll take a look at some of the different features that you might not know about. So you understand the interface fully and you can see all the different functions that you can use. So if we take a look at the question mark down here, you see some different options and you have one called keyboard shortcuts. So if you open this one, you have basically shortcuts that you can use to speed up different processes or do tasks faster. So basically, you have open new chat with the Command Shift O. You can focus chat input, Shift Escape, copy last code block, Command Shift, and this sign. So basically, we have simple shortcuts that can speed up the process and make things simpler for you that you might not know about already. Now, the next thing worth mentioning is you have all of the chats down left here at the left side, and it can basically get a little bit messy if you leave all of them here, and you might not be sure what all of them is about, and you might want to clean up basically and stay structured. So one of the first things you can do is change the names of these to organize it better. A news summary. Let's say I want to name that weekly newsletter AI news. And there we go. You had a new name. So now it's very clear what this exact chat is about, and I can easily go back and continue that one. If you look at a few of the other ones I have here, they are named after the chats that we have been starting. So all of them might not be very explanatory for me to go back to. Deleting chats that you don't use. We have many chats here, but so it's just a good idea to delete chats that you are not using anymore. So I don't know, let's say AI agents guide. This is an old one. I don't really use this anymore. I'll just delete this one. Boom. There you go. It's gone. So basically, you can thin out the amount of chats that you have here, and you can structure it to keep better track and actually go back to them. And that's the next thing as well. Let's say just to have some random ones. Okay, this one I could delete, but you can also archive it. And then when you archive a chat, you store it for later. And many chats you are not really using regularly, but you don't want to delete them either. So we don't want them filling here. Then you can archive them, and in your archive, you can access it by going up to the settings, and then you can see archive chats here. You can click manage. I don't have anyone right now, but then they will be stored here for later. So again, a great way to organize your chats here. Archive all chats, but you also have delete all chats. And if you click here, you will delete all of your chats except the ones that you have archived. So let's say you have archived 5 or 10 chats, but not the rest. The rest will be deleted, but the archived ones will still stay there. So another very handy feature is that you can actually share chats with anyone. So I'll go into one of my chats here, and then you can see up right in the corner, you have shared chat. You can click that one, then you can basically just create link by clicking here. And then you can either copy the link and share it, or you can make this chat discoverable, allows it to be shown in web searches. So basically anyone could find it, or you can share it directly on LinkedIn, Facebook, Reddit, X. And another thing, by sharing, you can actually, if you go to the chat at the left side here, you can actually hold it and drag it, and you can drag it over to your notes, and then it will actually have the link directly in your notes, and you can share that again with anyone you want. So there's also this cool voice feature with the mobile app. So let's say I'm in Italy and I would like to order a margherita pizza. I could ask the ChatGPT, since I don't speak Italian, I could ask it to help me order this pizza for me. So in the chat, there is this microphone that you can click, and then you can speak into it and it will answer back. So let's give it a try here. I'm in Italy right now and I would like to order a margherita pizza. Please order that for me in Italian. Here's how you can order a margherita pizza in Italian. Vorrei ordinare una pizza margherita, per favore. This translates to, I would like to order a margherita pizza, please. It's a polite and common way to ask. You have just ordered a pizza in Italian. So the last feature that we'll go over in this video is custom instructions, and these can really come in handy if you use them right. So what you do is you click your name up in the right corner, and then you click customize ChatGPT. And here you can see the top box where you can add context about your prompts. So, what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? And it has some thought starters at the right side here. So, where are you based? What do you do for work? What are your hobbies and interests? What subjects can you talk about for hours? And so on. So, basically, you can give it instructions on your personal profile. So, let's do mine, for example, the top box. I could put, let me see here. I'm a 29-year-old AI consultant. I create content and resources focused around providing knowledge and practical AI education and guidance that can be applied to business, work, and productivity. So the first box, it basically gives context about you as a person. And the second box, it's more of the output that ChatGPT gives. So, for example, ChatGPT can tend to give some annoying answers sometimes, like it will tell you that it don't know the answer to different things. It will tell you to talk with a doctor if you ask it questions around things like this. So you can basically instruct it to give answers that you would like. So let's say we do a prompt like this. You could say, never mention that you're an AI. You could refrain from apologies, only provide details and examples when asked for them, respond unsure about the answer if you're not sure, and don't use disclaimers. So again, the top box here, it gives context about you as a person to the ChatGPT, and the second one, it gives more of a prompt or instructions of how the GPT should answer you based on your needs. So let's say you're a business owner or you are an AI consultant like me, then I could ask ChatGPT to basically be very specific in this kind of niche, depending on what I provide in terms of the information about me, but also the prompt that I wanted to, the way I wanted to respond. So if you're a marketing manager, if you're a business owner, if you're a chef, whatever, you can basically give context and prompts and custom instructions here to make it give you the best results based on that exact profile and prompt. So basically, the more detailed you are here, let's say you go very niche in the or about the person you are and the instructions you give of how the ChatGPT should respond. The more detailed and the more niche and details or detailed to that exact instruction it will give you. But if you're a little bit more broad and open and not too specific, then it can still be used for most purposes. Like this right here. This is not very niche specific, but it's more like general instructions of the way I wanted to respond. But let's say I had my account here exclusively for my work and business, then I could be very specific in the way I wanted it to respond. For example, if I am an AI consultant or marketing manager, whatever, you could be very specific in the way you want it to respond. So the more specific, the more niche specific you will get your responses, and the more broad tasks and purposes you can use it for. So just be mindful of that. So you can experiment with different ways of instructing it. And you can also choose down here if this should apply to all of these. For example, if you want to include coding, images, browsing, and you can click this right here, enable for all new chats. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of a ChatGPT for beginners. I hope you can see the different ways that you can actually use ChatGPT, all the different features and possibilities it has to offer, maybe even some features that you didn't know about already. So in the next video, we'll be covering more of an advanced version or a guide to ChatGPT. So if you didn't join the AI community yet, there will be a link down in the description where you can join for free, and I hope to see you in there, and I'll see you in the next video.